Hey everyone, Molly here, the producer and co-host of Life List, a birding podcast. I wanted to add a little apology to the start of this episode because we got a little bit behind. And I know that a lot of you follow all of us on social media. A lot of you are my friends, so you might have already seen this. But long story short, I got stuck in the United Arab Emirates when the war broke out. And it took me a long time to get out of there. So it put me behind on producing this podcast. But I am now home in West Virginia. George is in India. Alvaro's in Chile. They're both leading tours. So we're going to get back on track with our every other Saturday episode after this. This is an episode that George and I recorded with Bonner Black before we left. Hope you enjoy it. One thing, as I was editing this, you'll hear that Bonner's in the middle of a rare bird chase and she stopped to record with us, which still blows my mind. And I sent her a message after I was done editing to check if she did end up seeing the bird. So, spoiler alert, yes, she did. So if you're as tense as I was editing this episode as you're listening to it, hoping that she gets out there and actually gets to see the bird, she does. So you can rest assured. And enjoy this episode. We'll be back with more soon. And thanks for listening. Appreciate all of you.
Hello. Welcome, everyone. This is Life List, a birding podcast. And I am George Armistead here with my co-host, Molly Brown. How are you doing today, Molly?
I'm doing great. Back in the recording room between some trips. It's kind of my busy season, so happy to be here and talking about Life List for the first time in a while.
Nice. Yep. First quarter is often the busiest quarter, it seems like, of the year.
Yep.
Here we are in first quarter of 2026. We are very lucky to be joined today by a good friend of the show. Bonner Black is back for her second episode of Life List Birding Podcast. How are you doing today, Bonner? Where do we find you?
Hi. No, I feel so lucky to be chatting with you guys today. I'm in the parking lot of a coffee shop in my car because I have been actually out looking for a lifer today. I'm in Nashville and we have been seeing, or people have been seeing, a great-tailed towhee, which is obviously a Western bird, but one showed up in Nashville. So I went out this morning and I was like, oh, maybe I'll get it because people have been getting it pretty easily. And I was out there for a couple hours, haven't seen it. So I've dipped into my car to chat lifers with you guys. And then when we're done with this, I'm going to go back out and try to find it. So, George, you're looking for a fox sparrow where you're at, right?
I am. And I was actually just going to pull up on eBird your towhee here to see. It looks like it's just outside of Nashville. I am looking for a fox sparrow. We had two here for a while. And those that might be, I don't know if this will appear on video or not, but usually I am squirreled away in my basement where it's quiet, but I actually have the house to myself today, which is like, kind of a middle-aged man's dream where it's just peace and quiet and me and the cat and the dog hanging out, looking out in the yard here. So I've got my stump feeder over here, this old Colorado blue spruce that we had to cut down. I made a stump feeder of it, and it's got white-throated sparrows and juncos all over it, and occasionally a few other bits and bobs, and then another platform feeder kind of ahead. So I figured I would do a little bit of birding while we talk today, and maybe
bins will be up. Let's
exactly.
Just say that. Bins are gonna be up.
Also a millennial woman's dream too. We don't mind that house to ourselves either.
Yeah.
Truly. Yeah. Well, it's been fun trying to get this one today. There's been a bunch of I just love the when a cool bird's reported and we're all walking up and spotting each other and kind of like that initial birder small talk and getting to know people, and then we're in mid conversation and then somebody hears a flit and it's been like a fun vibe. This bird has been here for a couple of days now, so we heard it. It was heard while I was out there, but I won't count it. I only count things that I can see.
Gotcha. Nice.
Oh man, It is true commitment that you walked away to come record this episode with us.
Well, that's
I'm
how much I
impressed.
love you guys, and that's how much I love
That
Lifeless.
means a
I
lot.
really do. I think y'all are the coolest.
That's awesome. I've never seen one of these birds in the east. Um, that
Yeah.
is really cool. I gotta say, as sparrows go and as like towhees go, it's a pretty cool combination of, it's pretty bright green above, and then that gray with the chestnut
Yeah.
cap. It's really a different looking bird, you know? Cool looking
Yeah, it's
thing.
like you
I hope it
can't
hears.
yeah, you can't really confuse it with much else, it seems. They're pretty common out west though, right? Is it kind of like something really easy to see? Is it yeah.
Yeah, if you go to the right spots out west, it's like pretty common,
Mhm.
west of the Great Plains, and
Yeah.
yeah, like all throughout much of the interior West. It's pretty common down into Mexico as well. But
Mhm.
yeah, you got to go to those spots, and if and if you can't make it there, like a lot of us can't, then you're hoping for a vagrant in your neck of the woods, and those are few and far between.
Yeah,
Yeah.
plus one so
This is true.
close. Do you
Yeah,
do
totally.
state listing in Tennessee? Do you care about your state list?
I don't. I don't do state lists right now. Right now, I'm kind of just with my one with my life list. I do. I did a year list the past couple of years, but I haven't really
Cool.
been. I haven't done my year list this year. I mean, I'm also sometimes I'm not e-birding and sometimes I am e-birding. And I would say this year I did the Great Backyard Bird Count with Merlin, but I have not been so much e-birding this year
Yep, I
either.
get that
So what
too.
about I'm sure I feel like you guys have probably like 1,000 lists. Like, are you guys like to the point where you're like square footage list because you've birded everywhere else? You're like, I'm counting birds from this one square foot in my yard.
I like do it less and less, but I also think West Virginia's kind of a fun state to list in. One, because there aren't many birders, but two, I can get anywhere in the state in like 3.5 hours. So it's
Mm.
kind of more attainable if I really wanted to chase birds, which I don't really do anymore. I just kind of get the needs alerts and they drive me nuts because I'm either in another continent or don't feel like it. but um but I think Tennessee would be a really, really difficult state to do it. I don't think I would do it in a state that required that much travel.
So long. We got a long state. We're not so wide, but we're long.
Yeah.
It looks like this is like the fourth record or something, I think, for Tennessee. It looks like about.
Yeah, I don't know.
Keyword, I think.
That maybe sounds right. Yeah. Yeah.
Bonner, have you, during this whole crazy winter that's happened in Tennessee? I know you've been on the road some for as well, but
Yeah.
did you manage to keep power throughout the whole winter and that whole? It sounded like just a
No.
miserable situation for so many people.
Oh, it was crazy. I mean, I did not expect it. I did not prep because I was kind of one of those where, our news cycle, our 24-hour news cycle is just filled with doom all the time. And my mom and my stepdad were hitting me up like, "You guys gotta prepare to lose power for multiple days." And I was like, we live in a city now. Like I grew up on a farm. And so now that I live in the city, like I'm like a city girl. Okay. I have my Starbucks. I'm loving this civilized lifestyle. And I was so cocky. I was like, I live in a city. Like there's no way. And all I bought for the entire thing was I bought 3 packs of bacon, I don't know why. I
Survival food,
bought,
yeah.
like, 4 bags of tortilla chips, and then I bought a candle, which I lost. I don't know where the candle went, and we lost power for 2 days. So I cooked all of my bacon in, like, one sitting because my gas stove still worked. It was like we were like what is it? Charlie and the Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, where we were just like all me and my 2 best girlfriends, we lived together, like, we're just huddled in our beds shivering. But ours came back on for 2 days. People were out of power up to I think 8 days, which is
Yeah.
crazy. But
Oh my
people
gosh.
were getting a lot of really cool birds in their feeders and in their backyard. I got some fox sparrows in my feeders, which aren't super common. Um, but I had a friend who had tree sparrows in her
Oof.
feeders. A lot of people were getting great birds in their feeders because the ground was so frozen that they just couldn't pick through its solid ice. So,
Mm-hmm.
Molly, did y'all get hit in Virginia from that? And like, how did y'all get freezing rain? That was the thing that
We,
screwed us was the freezing rain.
yeah. Um, I first off left home 2 days before this storm hit, because I led 2 back-to-back tours in northern Minnesota. By the time I got up to Minnesota, for half the time it was colder at home than it was in Duluth, which is crazy. But it was
Wow.
also, I think, -39 the morning that I got there, so it was pretty cold up there.
Oh,
So that's another
jeez.
story. But yeah, so I kind of missed this whole storm that hit here, but our snow still hasn't melted and our ground still hasn't thawed where I live because I'm up at a high enough elevation that it takes forever. We're finally starting to get
Yes.
above freezing and get through the snowpack because I think we had maybe 2.5 feet or so. Um, yeah,
Dang.
my husband was snowed in, which is his best case scenario, so he
Yeah.
wasn't
He's like,
complaining.
got it. I can't go anywhere.
Truly, I
Oh
was not
well.
Yeah,
mad about not leaving my
basically.
house. I really was not mad about leaving my house. I was just mad about being cold.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, it's funny. I was in, like I said, Duluth, and it was really cold up there. I mean, it's often the coldest place in the
Yeah.
contiguous US, just in that general
Yeah.
area. And then at one point, an hour from my house was the coldest place in the contiguous US. So
Jeez.
again, go
What
figure.
birds were you seeing in Minnesota?
So we maybe had 40 species over 2 weeks, but we had some goodies. A lot of this focuses on owls. The spoiler alert for my tours is that we did not see great gray owl, um, which a
No.
lot of folks aren't this year, and that's a big target when folks go up there. But that area has breeding great gray owls, and it's also often a really good place if there's an eruption that you can get big numbers. Like last year was pretty crazy for those. And then you have
Wow.
breeding northern hawk owls, so we saw them really well and watched them hunting
Nice.
many days. And then we had long-eared and short-eared and barred owl. And we did pretty well on finches this year too. We had lots of pine grosbeaks, big flocks of evening grosbeaks, white-winged
Nice.
crossbills, some really showy boreal chickadees hanging out, and Canada jays, and just a lot of birds that I really, really like. And I think it's so much fun. That tour is just going up and doing those trips is their own ball game because it's so cold and there are so few birds that you spend a ton of time driving and birding from your car and whatnot. So you
Yeah.
kind of have to adjust your thoughts on, what you think your birding days are going to be like because you're hanging out in a car
Yeah.
full of people for a lot of it. But I
Yeah.
really enjoy it. And then I
Yeah.
also figured out on this trip how much I love Duluth because Duluth is a really,
Oh,
really cool town. And when I've been before, I haven't
really?
actually stayed there. Yeah, it was great.
Oh,
Um, so we had a lot of fun, like amazing food, just fun places to hang out, great social time. So we had big groups and it was great. And I adjusted to the cold and I thought it was all fine. And now I'm home and it's in the 40s and I feel colder. So I think
yeah.
that's all just my mental state.
But birding by car is not bad, and also I have a sunroof in my car. And birding, I often find myself birding by sunroof. You know,
Oh
it's I
Yes.
just like will drive up and then just like kind of pop my head out, and it's not the worst. It's
Is
cozy.
there a difference between a sunroof and a moonroof?
I
Because
have
I feel
never
like we
heard the
just sort of
Yeah,
term
it's
moonroof.
the
I feel like they just started calling them moonroofs just to be like, "Oh, this one's got
What's
a
a
moonroof," you know?
what's a
No, I think
Like,
that's
moonroof?
smaller.
yeah. Is moonroof smaller? Or
I
is
Yeah, my first
you would think the
car
moonroof would be smaller, just, logically
you
speaking.
would think.
Yeah.
I
I
think
guess
it's some.
so.
I don't know if it affects them opening, but
Yeah.
I was driving an SUV on these tours, and the first one had a lot of electrical issues. Oh
Nice.
man, I forgot about this, but now I'm talking about it. And the second tour that I did had a lot of lifeless listeners, and they made
Oh,
me
really?
promise that I would talk about this on the podcast, and now I just have to mention it. I got pulled over by the cops with a car
Oh,
full of
wow, Molly.
clients on the tour. It
Wow.
was horrible. They were
Heavens.
okay, granted,
Heavens.
in Minnesota in
We have a
January.
scofflaw in our
So
presence, folks. A
it was
scofflaw.
we all
That's
laughed
probably
about
really
it. But
stressful.
I was like, I have no idea why they're pulling me over, so I wasn't too concerned about it. But
Yeah.
I was like pulling into our hotel after dinner with all of the clients. It was the first night. It was our first dinner. We had 2 vehicles. I think 11
You're
clients.
just
It was
priming
a
those clients
big
up
trip.
is what you were doing,
Oh
making
my
sure.
gosh, they
Yeah.
just met me. And everybody else gets out, and it took forever. They weren't the nicest folks. So what had happened was my headlights went off. And
Um,
I was like a mile's drive from dinner back, and it was like under city lights, and I didn't notice that they'd gone off. So that's what they pulled
yeah.
me over for, which ended up being electrical issues with the car, and I had to switch it out. But I'm sitting there, and I don't know, it felt like it took half an hour. I don't know that it really did. But I'm sitting in front of the lobby of the hotel, and there are just like
Mhm.
11 faces just lined up watching me the whole time. I was like, oh my God, guys, go to bed. Like, don't
Oh my
watch this.
god.
You're like,
That's
I
They
so
really
made
don't
me
need
get
an
out of the
audience.
car. It was a whole ordeal.
They made
I'd
you
never
get
had
out
these
of the
kinds of issues
car?
before. Well, first, yeah, yes. Eventually, they separated me from the clients. I'm shortening this story a little bit, but they had to because I had a car full of clients, and they took me back and like questioned me separate from all of them.
Oh my
It was a whole
gosh.
thing. And
Hmm.
then I came in, and everybody cheered and made it the lobby was all watching, and it was a horrible start, but a pretty funny
Yeah.
start to the tour.
Wow.
That's actually
It
hilarious.
was
Like,
a really awesome group.
too bad they weren't filming for an episode of Cops, 'cause could you imagine that episode where it's like, they, like, pull over this, like, van and they think whatever, and it's just a bunch of bird watchers, like
They were I mean, they did not believe me at all. They Oh, yeah, it was
That's
quite a thing.
awful.
Anyway,
Yeah.
yes, I mentioned that to all of y'all who were on that tour. That's out of the way and on Life List.
Nice.
I earned
Be
a
sure,
nickname.
folks, if you're listening and you're with Molly, please be sure to continue to, to tease her about this relentlessly.
Oh my
Yes.
gosh. I've ugh. I don't have many instances of being pulled over. I don't even know how to go. I wasn't actually sure how to show proof of insurance on a rental car. So then I was like, I just gave them my rental agreement, and I was like, guys, read it. I don't know. We got to figure this out together because I don't know what we're looking for here.
Oh
And
gosh.
oh my gosh.
Molly, if it makes you feel any better, I once got pulled over the very first day of a young birder camp driving a van full of campers. And, everyone's like 13, 14, 15, something like, 16. And if you thought you had a tough audience there for the next couple of days, I definitely took a beating as well.
That is
And in this
Oh
case,
my
it was totally
gosh.
one of these speed traps in Delaware where it goes from 50 to 25,
Oh
like
yeah.
that, and I
Yep.
just was caught unawares. And I continued to take a beating from that from time to time from Holly Merker and
Ugh.
others. So
George, I think you and I will be in India when this episode comes out, and a few of our guests who are joining us there were also on this tour, so I'm sure you will
all right.
know more details by then. I didn't get a ticket or anything, and I switched out for a different SUV that had a really sweet sunroof, and we enjoyed it a lot. That's why I brought this up. That was
Very
my
nice of you.
original point. It was great. Yep.
That's amazing. George, are you drinking out of Star Wars cup right now?
I am actually. This is my this is kind
I
of my
have that
security
cup.
blanket. Do
I
you really?
think okay, it just looks exactly like a cup that I got from the Dollar Tree.
Yeah,
Maybe yours is
that's where we got it. That my wife got it at the dollar store around the corner.
We have the literal same cup. Wait,
Oh my
hold it up. I want
gosh.
a screenshot. Amazing. Yes, we have the same cup. Okay,
For
Yeah,
sorry.
everybody
That
me and
was
with
my
their
wife
Star
sidetracked.
Wars license cups, right?
Yeah.
That's
I
awesome.
always, wherever I live, I have like a cup that is like my go-to cup.
Mm-hmm.
And I had like a really great Phillies cup that I loved. And I think my stepdaughter Kayla took it to college with her, and I'm still quite bitter about it. And so I was complaining about it, and Kristen went, she was like, here's your new cup. All right, George, just calm down.
Wow, incredible.
That's funny.
Just had to bring it. I just had to bring it up. Okay,
That's
what is
awesome, Lily.
y'all's?
Yeah.
Do you guys got like what's y'all's favorite lifers that y'all got in 2025?
I think I got one so
Ooh.
far, and I have to admit it's not my favorite.
Wait, for last year though.
Right, same for last year, but we can
2025.
also talk this year. I don't have any lifers yet this year, but
No, 2025. That's a juicier question for me because I got a bunch.
Oh,
let's squeeze the juice on this
yeah, I've got
question.
to think about it too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Also, it's still killing me that you don't have a 2026 lifer yet when there's literally one outside of your car. If you get a text
I'm
that says
about
that
to
bird
get
is
it, you
showing,
guys. I really
ditch us
thought
and
I'd
come
actually.
back.
Well, I know that I'm gonna get it because it's the first day of the year of the fire horse. And I feel the spirit of the fire horse with me. I had this podcast. I literally am on Lifeless podcast. Like I know the universe is conspiring in my favor. I am
Surely.
here with you guys. Didn't get it this morning, but I think sometimes you have to just take a break. It's been seen in the same spot. I'm gonna get this great-tailed Toey. I believe it in my heart. It will be my first lifer of this year.
Nice.
I do
Yeah,
not
we'll do a
doubt.
plug for it. Okay, I don't know if I can pick one bird from last year, but there's a bird that I've always wanted to see that really didn't disappoint for me at the end of 2025, and that was oilbird,
Oof.
which I saw in
Ooh.
Trinidad. And
Oh.
I have never been to an oilbird cave before. There was actually one, I guess I'd kind of seen one in a thermal scope flying up a river years ago in Colombia.
Wow.
But it was a really quick flyby thing, and that was kind of it. And I wouldn't have known. I mean, I guess it had to be an oilbird, but it
Yeah.
was, not satisfying. So at Asa Wright Nature Center in Trinidad, there's been an oilbird cave that's been monitored since the 50s. But a few years ago, it's actually not a fully closed-in cave. It's got like an opening in the top, and a tree had fallen and allowed a lot more sunlight in, and most of the oilbirds had left this spot. So they did this. They put down this wire mesh kind of netting on top, and then they put some foliage on top and kind of rebuilt the protection of it. And some oilbirds have started coming back, and it wasn't guaranteed that we would see them, but within a few weeks they had a handful who were starting to come back. So we did this big hike and into a really cool cave. Actually waded through water a little bit in the darkness, and a cool thing was that there were hawks kind of flying around. The common black hawks were flying in this opening of the cave in the daylight, and I think that they were actually perching in it, and the oilbirds were tucked in just barely out of view. So it felt kind of dramatic in that way, and it was pretty awesome.
That sounds like one thing I love about birding is just the Indiana Jones-ness of it all. Like I was obsessed with Indiana
Yep.
Jones growing up, and what you were describing that's Indiana Jones. That's that thing. I love that.
I'm picturing the boulder
Totally.
rolling down the cave at you as you exit after having gotten
Yeah.
aesthetic.
Yeah, I mean, instead of looking,
just not
for
my
the
clients in the rushing water.
Yeah. Yeah, instead of looking for, the temple or the ark, you're looking for the oilbird.
It's just an oilbird. Yeah. I've always been really fascinated with them, though. They're such bizarre, nocturnal, fruit-eating birds using echolocation and just all sorts of craziness. And finally got to see them and smell them and everything else, so it was pretty cool.
What do they smell like?
Not musty, not great. They have like a just yeah, I'd say like musty smell.
I didn't know they had like a scent. Like, is there a specific like the oil bird
I
has a
think
scent? Like,
so.
what birds do we?
Well, they produce oils, and they've been harvested for oil for years. So I think that there are permits for indigenous groups to actually still collect them, and they're still collected
Okay,
throughout their range in certain places too. So I think it's some of that, and I think it's some their digestive system. For I don't know off the top of my head how they digest fruit, but I think it's kind of different than other fruit eating birds. Do you know more about that,
huh,
George?
I don't know too much about how they digest it, but they feed on palm fruits that are high in oil. And it's funny what you say about the odor. I hadn't heard that about them, but I've handled a couple nightjars, and I remember, which, obviously this is a different family, but they're kind of related. And and I remember like a Parake in particular, where after I handled it, I was like, this thing stinks. And it was like really kind of musky. And I'm not sure why that would be. And they of course, feed on just on insects, the Parakes.
hmm,
Whereas the oil bird, it might be more related to the fruits they eat. It looks like a lot of laurels, like Lauraceae, which is, I think, like those avocado type trees, produce like small kind of greenish fruits. And but yeah, they're called huarachos, that's one of the local names for them, which means fat bird, because especially the youngsters, I guess, get really, really fat. And I suspect the oil is involved there, with them kind of looking fat and being fat and maybe smelling a little funky. Um, so high fat diet might have something to do with the odor. I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm reading this too, and I think some of the smell comes from just the regurgitation of the fibers, which, like, if you watch Quetzals or you see other birds that like spit out the seeds too, but I guess
Same fruits too, those laurels. So those the quetzals. Yeah.
that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so maybe that contributes to the smell in the caves too. So now I guess I should be not Googling this on the spot, but I think part of it comes from their bodies themselves, but maybe part of it is just the fact that they're in a closed area regurgitating a lot of stuff
so
that raises
when you
that.
said they are harvested for oil production, are you talking about the oil birds? Or are you talking about the fruits?
The birds.
The birds.
That's yeah.
Are we
It's
angry about this? Do we not like this? Or what's our thoughts on
it's
this?
not
I guess it,
used.
yeah, I guess it depends to the extent that it's done and how like necessary it is or traditional. Yeah, I don't
Okay.
know.
Okay. So
Yeah.
it can be a
I
traditional.
mean, yeah.
Yeah, it's not a modern practice except by indigenous groups that are still doing the like
Okay.
traditional practices of harvesting them too. So I think
Okay.
everything's regulated and everything's permitted now. So
Okay.
this
Sure.
is not a current threat to oil birds.
They're famous for navigating
I knew
fishing. Yeah.
about this species, but I didn't know any of that. That's cool.
I've still never seen one. It's like
Have you not?
it's one of my
It's
big
so
holes.
cool.
Yeah.
That's a big
You're
one.
gonna see them later this year, Molly, too, on
I am. I know it.
yeah, you guys have a
Our
very
folks
good
don't know it
chance.
yet.
I was
I
gonna
told
say.
some
Yeah.
people that there's a surprise coming, so
Yeah.
we don't have to say who it is.
Yes,
I'm
exactly.
looking, their IUCN is least concern, no
Okay.
global threats, but man, it says populations are assumed to be declining between 20 and 50,000 individuals.
Yeah. Because
Doesn't
Couple cool
all
sound like
things.
a
bird
lot.
populations are declining.
Yeah.
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 It is cool, like,
Safe to
those
assume.
things navigate via echolocation a lot, which is, not known, much in birds, and they wander really far. There's, I remember friends talking about finding one just roosting in a tree in Panama,
Mm-hmm.
and
Wow.
they've ended up, there's
Like in
records
a
in Aruba.
town.
Yeah, yeah, they just 'cause
They're vagrants.
Yeah, like daylight hits, they got to go down someplace, but I think they can wander really far in search of the right kind of fruit that they want to eat,
Mm-hmm.
And they're big. They cover a
Wow.
lot of ground. In fact, my friend Jeremiah Trimble sent me images a while back. I think I mentioned on the podcast of an oil bird that a guy picked up like 80 miles off the coast of Colombia. That he was like out in the middle of the ocean. Here's this oil bird like flying around.
Crazy.
Crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
And they're
amazing.
bizarre looking. And you often see them if you're going to a place to do a targeted look. It's in a cave because they roost in caves communally. There can be dozens or hundreds of them. So it's often an experience to actually get to see them too that just adds to the drama.
That
Sweet
might have to
birds.
go up on the top of my list of birds that I want to see now, because I think I really just want to have
They
an
should
Indiana
be.
Jones moment stomping through a cave,
They're
actually.
so weird.
It's also
I'm
a
gonna push
monotypic,
that up.
only species in its
Sweet.
family. So that's like highly distinct.
Oh.
In many ways, it's a cool one.
Yeah, what are they even closest relate? Or I don't know what families are aligned with them.
They're in the order with the nightjars, the same order, the
I suppose
Caprimultiforms.
so. Yeah,
Yeah,
that makes sense.
but yeah,
Huh.
unusual in many
Really
respects.
quick, George mentioned the Paraki, and I actually, the first time I saw one of those, I was in Costa Rica with a guide, and he had a very thick accent, obviously, and I kept thinking that he was saying parakeets, and he was pointing to this, and this was like a couple years ago, early in my birding career, and I was looking at this bird, and I was like, I don't think
Yeah.
that's a parakeet.
Yeah.
Took me
Like,
a
I don't
while
know.
to be like, no, I know what that is. I was like, yeah, we're on different pages.
Like, sorry, pal, that is not a parakeet.
I was like, I know that you're like a
Yeah.
professional and all, but I don't think you know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
George, hit us
That's
with your
funny.
favorite lifer of 2025.
Yeah. I was just looking as Molly was talking about oil birds, and I think two that I would pick out were birds that I would have said were overdue for me. One particularly so was corncrake, which is a bird I've always dreamed about, like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
finding while birding around the Mid-Atlantic states here. And there are a few records in recent years, but there was even one dragged in Pennsylvania, dragged in by a cat about, 6-7 years ago, which was sad, but it also made you think, geez, it can still happen. They're still around. But yeah, that was, it's the scientific name is Crex. I like those birds that have names like that. And it's a bird I'd looked for in Scotland, never seen it. I had chances at a few other spots. Finally, we were we were in Tanzania on the Tanzania tour, and there'd been some rain, and we came to this puddle on the road, and there was just a bunch of birds coming, like little birds coming to drink, and the puddle was really attracting a lot of birds. And all of a sudden, there's kind of some emergent marshy vegetation, like, wet grasses along the sides. And this corncrake kind of stumbles out and was like, looking around, and like, puts his head down and starts, bathing a little bit and getting some food probably at the edge of the water. And I was just like, corncrake, oh my God, freaked out. So that was pretty cool. Yeah. And then I think another one I would choose would be probably the Steiniger scoter, which I think I mentioned probably after it happened, but it was up in Alaska with friends Alex Harper and Adam Betchuel. We were doing a tour there, and just like a bird I'd been looking for up there a number of times and kind of had some bad luck with, and this time we connected and so had it really nicely. So it was cool.
Oh,
There's a couple.
sweet. It's crazy that you just came up on the other one. I mean, yeah, there you go. I think that's you just having that birder spirit that just brings it to you. Yeah.
Sometimes you have to will it,
You have to will it. I need you
Just
guys to
will it.
will. I need you guys to will me this great-tailed towhee today. The green-tailed
Nice.
towhee. I keep saying gray-tailed towhee. Green-tailed towhee.
Yeah, maybe you'll get a great-tailed grackle
Also
with
great.
green-tailed towhee.
A great-tailed grackle with a green-tailed towhee. I'm over it. I still haven't eaten since breakfast, so we're doing that birder thing where you forget to eat.
Don't eat until you find the bird. That can be part of your life or die mentality.
The big bird around here has been a
Yeah.
tufted duck lately. I haven't gone to look for it, but like everybody in
Ooh.
southeastern
Ooh,
PA has gone twitching a tufted
nice.
duck. Nice, pretty nice male. Um, and so yeah, and yeah, that's been tempting in part to go because I know all the birders are going out. I'm like, oh, it'd be fun to just see folks.
Mhm.
And after this winter, I've been stuck here. It was
Yeah.
like, unlike you, Molly, I got back and then had like, I think a day before the storm hit.
Yeah,
And
that's
then,
a harder transition.
yeah, and initially I was like, whatever, I want to be home anyway. So I'm fine with the storm. But then a week goes by and you're like, all right, I'd like to go do some stuff now and
Yep.
can't, you know? Um,
Yeah.
so thankfully now it's really starting to melt and we're seeing our way out of it. But yeah, I'm still contemplating the twitch. Looks like the tufted duck is still there today. Maybe I'll go next couple days.
Yeah. Don't
Yeah.
resist the Twitch 2026. I was actually kind of trying to resist the Twitch in 2025 because I just had this weird thing happen in my life where like I was a musician and then now like bird watching is like basically like 50% of my life at this point. It's like my music career and then bird watching just like kind of decided to like make out with each other and that's it's my life. And so there was like a part of me that I was like, I literally started birding because the entertainment industry was stressing me out so much that birding was just the thing that kind of like saved my sanity and my mental health. And so there's a part of me that's like very protective over it and wants it to be that. But um today and like the past couple weeks I've been like, yeah, but the reason I really fell deeply in love with birding was that it was this really fun chase that I got to be kind of intense and ambitious about that didn't have anything to do with me, and it was about getting to be intense about birds and nature, so I think this year, 2026 is I'm gonna go back to the Twitch and, you know, year of the fire horse, go go run for my birds. And back
That's
Nice.
on it,
awesome.
yeah. I got,
I like that
I one of
mentality.
I got one of my favorite lifers this in 2025 though when I was in Spain. I saw a ton of like really cool birds in Spain. But I got my golden eagle there, which we have golden eagle
Oh,
populations in Alabama and closely, but I just never gone down to like specifically see a golden eagle. But it's one of my favorite birds. It's really high up there also because I don't know if y'all are Lord of the Rings people. George, I'm just kind of assuming with the Star Wars guy.
Definitely.
um,
Yes.
but in Fellowship of the Ring, the eagle that's like based off of like the great eagle is based off of a golden eagle that rescues Frodo and Sam. And I just love them. I have like a photo of a golden eagle like in my music studio. There's so many birds in my music studio now.
that's so cool.
Just like the birder musician genre, like there's just so many birder musicians too. It's all of us have like bird things in our studios. But it was like a really random one because we had been looking specifically for vultures, and we were looking for Egyptian vultures. We had seen at that point we were kind of like bored of Cenarius vultures, um, and we saw a bunch of things circling, and we think like, okay, we're just gonna pull over to the side of the road and see if we can get an Egyptian vulture. And we get out, and we're like, oh, golden eagle. And it was just one of those that like I love getting cool birds on the side of the road. That's just I just love that too.
Yeah.
It's like you're either stomping through caves or you're like just in public. Um and we were pumped about that. I did cry. I cried a little for that one.
Nice.
That's
It
so
was
cool. Were you
it was
expecting to see golden eagles in that area?
No, I knew that they could be there, but I think we were focusing on a bunch of like just other species. Like I think that
Yeah.
day, I think what we were on our way to a field. And granted, I was so sick that trip. I had so much fun in Spain. Um, it was for the Delta Birding Festival, and I was just super allergic to that area. I don't know what it was. I mean, of course, we're, in farm fields and stuff. And so a lot of times I couldn't breathe. So I was like a little delirious. Um, and I think specifically we were looking for a little bustard. that day. So I just had like bustards on the brain.
Mm.
And I think we had also just come from a hide, and I sat in a bunch of hides there. I can't remember if that actually was the Cenarius vulture day or what, but I just had other birds on the brain. And so I was just
Yeah.
kind of
Well, I think that's
falling
even
apart.
cooler when it just hits
Yeah.
you out of nowhere and you aren't
Yeah.
even expecting it.
Yeah. I need
Man,
to post that
that's
video
sweet.
too. I do have a video from that day.
Did you
That's funny.
connect with Little Bustard as well? Such a great bird name.
Oh my gosh, George, yes, and it was great because that was one of the birds I really did want to see. Like, before I went there, I kinda had a list in my head of things that I really wanted, and Little Bustard was really high up there, and we thought it was gonna be hard. We pull the van up to this field that one's been spotted at. We don't even roll the windows down. Like, I get out my binoculars, I'm just doing a quick scan, and it's right there. It was just so easy. We got to watch it for a while. It was a female. We didn't get to see the male, but it was great. And it was cool. Like, I got what else? I love all the herons too. I got like purple heron and squawko heron and just a bunch of really cool birds. I saw my first storm petrels over there. Um, yeah, it was just a
That's such
lovely.
a cool mix of birds.
That was a solid trip of lifers in general. One of my favorite, I think, is the northern pendulum tit. Am
Yes,
I getting that
another
right? Yeah.
great
Mhm.
bird name. Another great
See,
bird name.
that's I love that name. Like, I've been using the northern pendulum tit in a lot of like Instagram reels because it's
It's good.
just so
It's good to
great.
slide in a
Or
conversation when you can. Yeah.
or snake-toed eagle owl yeah, is that right? Snake-toed eagle owl.
There's, let's see. There's short-toed snake
There's a
eagle,
short-toed
and
snake
then
eagle. Why am I like all over
yeah, yeah,
But I like snake
that's a
toes. That's pretty cool.
snake-toed.
yeah,
Again, I haven't eaten since breakfast. Okay, let's give it a break.
yeah.
But yeah, that's another one that I'm like, that's a great name. Short-toed snake.
Kristen bought me one of those coffee mugs that's got all the naughty bird names on it.
Mhm.
It's like and people come over and you can see them. They're like, hmm. They're like, what's this all about? Have you guys ever heard what a great bustard sounds like?
Nope.
No.
I hope this will translate, but I'm gonna try to play
Yeah, we'll
a
see.
great bustard sound for you guys.
Oh no, I
And
feel like
just
we're about to.
have a listen. Yeah. That's one of my That's one of my favorite bird calls. Can you imagine that there's like a bird out there that like there's some female bird out there that's like hears that and thinks, "Now where is that fine gentleman?"
You know it.
Gotta
That
be
is
a great
hilarious.
bustard, is what that is.
Yeah, it's about as
I
flatulent a sound as you can imagine. It's pretty
there's
rich.
so much around like beautiful bird sounds in nature and how healing it is. And I think that I'm actually like doing a song right now where I am putting a bunch of bird calls in it. But I think it'd be cool to do
You
like
use the great bustard, I presume.
I think
Yeah.
it'd be good to do like a full meditative one that's just all of the worst bird calls. Like a great blue heron's got an awful
Mhm.
Yeah.
like
Yeah. They call him
it's
Old
not
Cranky. It's some parts of the Chesapeake Bay. That's one of the nicknames is Old Cranky.
old cranky.
Oh, very apt.
I will take submissions for worst bird calls for a video or a song. I think that'd be good.
I was trying to remember. I was
Oh, that
watching
could be a
something.
long
One of my
list.
favorites always is Willow Ptarmigan because they make some really awesome, fun sounds.
Yeah.
And there, I think it was a Game of Thrones episode I ended up watching recently that had Willow Ptarmigan going in the background.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's a classic
Nice.
one as well. Yeah,
Yeah. I feel like that's actually something we talked about years ago on this podcast, now that you're saying that.
probably. Yeah,
Oh yeah.
Sounds like it.
Golden Eagle is a solid bird.
What is
Golden Eagle. Yeah, that's it.
golden eagle?
That's one of. I tell people that's my favorite bird, even though I don't really have one. So
Really? I
Ooh,
know
good
we
answer.
don't have. My people get mad
God.
at me because they'll ask me what my favorite bird is like 6 months earlier, and then they'll hear me answer it differently to somebody else like a week later, whatever. I'm changing all the time. It is ever changing. I've
Yep.
begun answering the question when someone says, "What's your favorite bird?" And I say, "My favorite bird today is
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good way
this."
to
I
do
don't
it.
have a favorite bird today. My favorite bird today is the green-tailed towhee.
Nice. You already know the sighting is going to be so good that you're I like your confidence. It's good. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, clearly you're sticking with it.
I'm sticking with it, and I do feel confident. I mean, we heard it. We heard it. It's there. It's in the same place that it's been being seen. So I think if I sit out there for, ever. I wish I had my laptop. I'd just sit on the bench and work, but
Are there
Mhm.
other
Oh,
birders
well.
there too?
do what?
Are there other birders at the Twitch or at the green-tailed towhee?
At the golden great-tailed green-tailed
Uh-huh.
snake-toed eagle towhee. Um, yes, actually, there's a big group. There some cool people. I also just met like a really cool group of birders. A family of birders that's on YouTube that I don't know if you guys know. They go by Beast of Burden. Um, and basically, I kind of just saw my future. It's a mom. Her name's Sarah, and her kids that they homeschool, and they're birders, and they're also musicians. Sarah plays the banjo. The kids play music. The older kid, Asher, is the one who, like, films or he, like, edits the birds, and he, like, kinda runs their, like, social media videos, and then the younger boy, Ari, like, he's, like, the photographer. They have 2 daughters, and they're just, like, a power birder musician family. The funny thing is
Love
they're
it.
also homeschooled. I was homeschooled. So I bonded with them, and I think that I invited myself to their house. They didn't necessarily invite me to their house, but they mentioned that they have cows that they milk, and so I was like, "Can I come?" I was like, "Can I come bring my guitar and my binoculars so we can jam bird, and then can I milk one of y'all's cows?" So I did, so I met them at
That's awesome.
so I met them at the bird meet today. So I'm excited. I think we're gonna try to collaborate. But yeah, I mean there's a bunch of people out there. I'm sure when I go back there as people get out of work or try to leave work early, there will be some more bird people out there. And it's funny
Sure.
because I love showing up to these meets because usually people know who I am, but they can't remember my name. So it's always, "Are you on the internet?" Like people just like come up and they're like, "You're that girl on the internet."
You're like, yes, that's
And
me.
and
Yep.
I'm like, "Yes, I'm on the internet." So yeah, they were cool. But y'all should have them on the podcast. They're really sweet.
Yeah, that would be
It
Yeah,
cool.
I'll
makes
have
me
to
Well,
check
I
that,
them
I
out.
like
That's
have
really cool.
to yeah. I will have to marry a burner man and raise an army of bird children at this point. I think that's gonna
Yeah.
be it's gonna kinda have to happen.
you gonna homeschool them too?
I've always wanted to homeschool my kids actually, because I loved being homeschooled. It kinda rocked, like, I mean, I didn't finish high school, so I don't know if that's I don't know if, like, super recommended, but it just afforded me so much freedom to kinda do whatever I wanted to do, and at the time, I wanted to just be a musician and go to Nashville, so I did. And so, yeah, in the back of my mind, I've always thought it'd be cool to homeschool kids and have them on the tour bus and whatever. Especially like the state of our world is just scary, but we'll see. I don't know. And I don't have a
Yeah.
boyfriend yet, so that's kind
Well,
of
you have some
that's
time to
kind
think about it. Yeah.
of that's kind of
Yeah.
probably
I was just
happened
asking
first.
because we were kind of talking about it before. There are so many birders, especially young birders, that are homeschooled. And it's just amazing how the percentage of birders that are homeschooled. And I was interested when you mentioned that you were as well. And I thought, my gosh, here's another one. How about that?
Here's another one. There is a triangle of like homeschooler musician birders. Like I meet so many birders that are also musicians.
Yeah.
I meet so many birders that were homeschooled, and it is because musicians are kind of like outcast weirdos sometimes. Homeschoolers are like we are the outcast weirdos. And birders are like, I think a lot of birders just tend to be outcast weirdos who started like, we just like to be by ourselves. Like Molly, you were saying earlier, like you weren't homeschooled, but you grew up on a farm. So you're just kind of like by yourself a lot. And
Yep.
so you're talking to the birds, you're amongst nature. And I think that kind of call of the wild is easier for us to answer because we're solitary. Um,
Yep.
a lot of the time. So
Totally.
yeah, I do meet a lot of homeschoolers, and I was telling y'all that I have a joke in my shows a lot of times when I talk about being homeschooled and being a bird watcher, where I say I am also a bird watcher, and that's the most homeschooled thing about me, aside from the fact that I was actually homeschooled. Um, it just like so yeah, it's great. I do, yeah. It works. And if you homeschool your kids, like then they can just be master birders because all they're doing is like you can. I did so much of my schoolwork in the back of my mom's minivan. So it's like, let's just like the kids will do the schoolwork in the back of the van. I'm gonna have a sprinter van for my kids. In the back
Oh
of the
yeah.
sprinter van. And then we just be birding on tour and birding. Yeah.
I want to get one of those decked out Sprinter vans for like overlanding, and that's like one of my dreams as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like get one of those,
Yeah.
you know, just go off grid, and me, Kristen, and the dog, and
Yeah.
Yep.
just
Yep.
be out
Do
there, be
y'all
fun.
do either of y'all have kids?
I've got stepkids, but
Okay.
they're old. Yeah,
I have the
they're,
birder husband, but no kids.
Okay, nice. Cool. We'll all work on our little
No,
birder kid army.
birder
yeah,
kid army. Yeah, I've got the birder dogs. I think that's as far as we're getting. But
Birder
I
dogs.
love that, people talk about having enough kids to like have a basketball team or start a band. And it's like, nope, we want the whole outfitter for birding. We need someone
I
running the
mean,
camera. We need someone doing the
yes.
logistics. We need someone driving.
I'm telling y'all, like, Sarah, I was talking to Sarah, I love that their YouTube name is Beasts of Burden too, like, because that's one of my favorite songs. But they really do have the strategy. Like, even like they were at the top of the hill. One of the kids was down at the bottom of the hill. One of the kids was on the other side of the hill. They're all informed. Like, they're going to text each other if they see it. One's got the camera. One's got the scope. One's got the binocular. Like, I'm like, I see the vision here.
you got
It
it
was
mapped out.
hilarious. I got him out. I'm really excited to invite myself to their house. Yeah, for sure.
That's so
Nice.
cool.
Bonner, what do
What do
you
you
got coming
guys?
up music wise?
I'm really excited. I'm going to the UK. I leave for London March 19th. I have 5 shows. I have a show in London and York and Manchester and Brighton, and then somewhere else, Glasgow. But I'm really excited because I have a show in London and then I have 5 days off. And I'm gonna meet up with the RSPB, Royal Society for the Protection of Birds, do some fun stuff with them. I'm going to host a bird walk around my show in London. I'm going to host a bird walk in Brighton before the show. And then in between, like I'm meeting up with ornithologists. It's really just at this point, like it just does feel like kind of an excuse to bird. My agent over in the UK just calls me Twitcher. Like I don't think he's called me by my
Nice.
name since I've
Aw,
met him.
that's an endearing term from your agent.
Yeah, he's great. He's like one of those like old school, like, oh, that's a great tune, man. And like he's like, and I like answer the phone and be like, he's like, hey Twitcher, how you doing? So yeah, so that's what I got going on. I am going to Bird Fair this year. I'm gonna be at Vegas Week. All the things. I'm trying to figure out like what lifers I want to get over there and try to target some stuff, but I haven't sat down to look at that. Where are you guys off to next? You said you're going to be in India, like next week,
Yeah,
soon?
we go soon. Yeah, Molly goes real soon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I go
Oh
next week.
gosh,
Yeah, I'm actually doing a little solo jaunt in the United Arab Emirates on my way over, which I'm
amazing.
super excited about. I'm excited to talk about that. So we'll see how it goes. That's just kind of I wanted to get there early enough to adjust to the time change before the tours get started, and I decided I'd start there because my layover was there anyway. So that, and then we have our Lifeless tour coming up. And that's India. So that's our Assam safari trip that we'll be on together. We've got pre-trips, we've got post-trips. There's a big crew coming over. Lots of stuff.
Molly starts off with the Taj Mahal and the holiday of Holi, which would be pretty wild for those folks going. I think we've got 16 folks, and 8 of them, I think, are going on the pre-trip with you.
Yep, we've got
which is
full house,
tremendous
I think.
photography spot. And it's like incredible wetlands and gharials. That's like, I think maybe the coolest thing on that whole trip is seeing gharials up close.
Yep.
But there's a lot of aspects to it.
I realized this isn't the place that folks normally go for this mammal, but the odds are, I won't say good, but it's possible to see hyenas. And hyenas are one of my most wanted mammals now,
Yeah,
too.
striped hyena I've seen
Nice.
before. Yeah. Yeah, I
And
think I've
good
seen it
birds.
1 out of 4 visits or something, maybe
Cool.
twice. So
Yeah, I want to see hyenas. There
definitely
are a
the
lot
only
of
time
birds
I've
I
been
want to
close
see.
on foot with one was there. Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah.
cool.
You guys make me want, like,
Yeah, I'm excited
there's
for
a
that.
huge part of me that wants to just quit music. Like, I always joke, I'm like, "Oh, I'm gonna quit music and then do birds." And listening to y'all's lives, and when I talk to my friends who are guides, I'm like, that just sounds like the coolest life. Like, you guys literally just travel and birdwatch for your job. That's so sick.
Yeah,
When did y'all start guiding?
it's
How
pretty
long have y'all
crazy.
been guiding?
Ooh, George, you answer that.
I think I mean, I kind of have been always leading field trips even since I was like in my teenage years, but I didn't really, I think my first real tour was 2002. Yeah, that was
Okay.
the first year. I did like 3 or 4 tours that year and then have been going, ever since.
It's a
Nice.
lot.
That's a long time.
I first helped lead a trip in 2015.
Mm.
So that was a while ago, but I started working at Birdwatchers Digest magazine, and BWD also did trips, like multi-day trips.
We did one
So that was
place
kind of,
together.
yeah, we did. I think
Yeah,
that's how I met you. I'm sure we
I think
talked
so.
before,
Yeah,
but we did
yeah,
Delaware together. It was fun.
that's right.
Those
Yeah.
trips were great. But yeah, so I've done it kind of here and there since then, but just full time the past couple years, really. So it's
I love that.
crazy
That's
and it's
amazing.
really, really fun.
What are y'all's life lists at now?
Ooh,
I don't know
good
mine.
question. Let me look.
Yeah.
That's, I'm at like 2,500 or so.
Crazy.
Yeah.
What, what are you at,
I
George?
stopped, I think around 5,000. I don't really know because I didn't start eBirding till 2011, and I have a lot of stuff before that I never
Yeah.
have entered. So I think in
That's
eBird I'm
insane.
like close to 4,000, but I think I'm over 5,000.
Wow.
I'm at 2617.
Yeah, girl, that's killer. That's so inspiring. When I was in Spain, I was at dinner with these 3 gentlemen, and they were telling me about their lives. I mean, they were in their 80s and just so fun to talk to. And between I think each of them had around like 6 to 8,000. Um,
Wow.
and the coolest thing was them, when you start talking about birds you've seen, and them telling the stories of like, "Oh, I saw this bird and it was on this trip and this," and the stories, it's like by the end of the dinner, I remember just thinking like, what a life well spent, you know? It sounds like that's a cool life. Like,
If it's
I
about the
like that.
journey, birding it's a pretty good way to go, It's like, yeah, see, that's what you get. You get all these memories out in nature with friends and or even by yourself, just with amazing birds. I remember hearing years ago about one of the top listers in the world had some sort of medical issue where he lost his memory and like some kind of amnesia type event.
Oh my
And he
gosh.
didn't even remember that he was a birder and couldn't
Oh
remember
my god.
like any of like, any of the details of the stuff that he'd hunted for and looked for over the years. And I thought, my God, imagine, for anybody that would be deeply traumatic. But, if your life is built on the memories of, being in nature, I think it'd be particularly painful. I mean, I guess if you don't know what you've lost, then maybe it's not as bad as all that, but it's kind of painful for us to think about happening to other people for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. But, I feel like even if they don't have those memories, like, birding, especially being a birder at that level, just seeps into your soul and your consciousness and your being and just shapes the essence of you. Like, all those birds, all those experiences are still there, I
Yeah.
would think. But, oh, that's tragic.
I've
That should be a movie, I feel like.
yeah. That's an interesting way to think about it though, because like, yeah, we get tuned into nature, right? Like how many times are you with other folks and you're hearing birds around and you're like, I can't believe, like not even that they can't identify them, but just that like they don't notice those sounds are happening or
Yeah.
something. And
Yeah.
it'd be interesting if you like lost your memories of the specifics, but your body was still attuned to listening to those kinds of
Right.
things.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
That'd be
wonder if it's
crazy.
like, there's been a lot of, musicians who get amnesia, like a lot of like people who get dementia, but they can still like play the piano. Like
Mm-hmm.
they can't remember who their kids are, but they can still play the piano perfectly. Like I feel like to someone of that caliber, like I wonder, like I would love to do a thorough Google search on this person and see if there was any like, but you was hearing this and could recognize the bird, or I don't know, because yeah, I wonder if I feel like it just has to seep into your whole
Right.
psyche.
It could practically,
Yeah.
some of it become just practically innate knowledge where you're like, oh, there's a cardinal over there. And then you're thinking, how the hell do I know what a cardinal
Yeah.
sounds like? You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd say so. I'll tell you what, this time of year, this kind of slog, end of winter, early spring, is maybe when I'm the
So East
most
Coast.
thankful to be a birder.
That's true.
Because, I mean,
Yeah.
like, there's so many little things, like bluebirds are getting active here. There's a
Yeah.
red-shouldered hawk hanging out and calling and just, like, little things that just give me so much joy that I am so glad that I am attuned to because if I don't have that, then, man, I'm waiting it out like everyone else.
Yeah.
Yeah, the changing the seasons, big deal.
Yeah.
It's like
Mhm.
I've gotten especially appreciative of these like really slow times that lead into the big, the big migration
Mhm.
season. Like where you're just like you're looking for little hints, flock of tundra
Yes, you start
swans
getting the
flying.
trickle.
Yeah, exactly. Just like
Yeah.
little things where you're like, that's it. That's the beginning. It's happening, but
Mhm.
it's not obvious, but it's coming. And the slow wait for spring is, I think you're right. Being around, living in the East Coast, anywhere in the East, really, it's
Yeah.
a bit of a slog this time of year. But those little things give you hope, give you spirit.
Yeah, definitely. I think being a birder just grounds me on a daily basis to like you guys are talking about like the changing of the seasons and things like that, but also just reminds me like as I get so caught up in my own life and then look out and see a turkey vulture circling the parking lot, it's like, oh, wait, I forget I'm a part of planet Earth. I'm just on planet Earth. I'm like I think of myself as like we always think about ourselves as like who we are as in our careers or whatever, but
Mhm.
then you get these daily reminders of like, oh yeah, I'm an earthling. I'm a human. I'm just a human mammal.
End of the
That's
world. Yep.
I forget I'm just a mammal. My actual only job is to like eat and sleep. That's my job today, is to forage my curry chicken salad from the coffee shop that I'm currently parked outside of.
Sounds really good. Sounds really good right now. Hmm,
Yeah, it does.
It's
nice.
yeah, I'm pumped to finish it.
You're holding out on lunch and a lifer to record
Your
podcast.
sacrifices
That
are
is
duly
so much
noted, Connor.
willpower.
Yeah.
Thank you guys. I
Incredible.
feel I feel thankful to be appreciated in this way. We need to bird together. I've got to meet you guys in person at some point.
Yeah. Gotta do
Yes.
it.
You know.
Yeah,
That
that
can
would be
happen
great.
in 26.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you guys hitting any bird festivals this year?
I'm gonna go to the Tucson one. Yeah, Tucson in August. I'm looking forward to that.
Yay! I'll be
You going?
there. I'm gonna be yes,
Nice.
I'm
Sweet.
the headlining performer, just so you
Oh,
know.
awesome.
Yeah, so they because like last year they had a comedian and this year they have me. And so I'm gonna play a set, I think on the August 14th. I think it's the Friday night. And my guitar player is actually Ryan McLean of Greenwich Audubon. He's an incredible guitar player.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna jump on as like a special guest for a couple bird walks. But yeah, I'm performing the 14th, and that's my birthday. My birthday is August 15th. So it's
Oh,
basically
wow.
going to be my dream. It's gonna be my dream birthday because I haven't birded much out west aside from like, when I've been in LA and been able to kind of like get out of the studio and go bird. But so it'd be like, I know I'll be getting a bunch of lifers, and then I literally get to spend a full day bird watching and then play a show that night and then my birthday. And so
Wow.
now I get to
That's
meet
so
As soon as you
you.
said
cool.
it's your birthday, I was going to say, I was like, we got to go like do karaoke for your birthday. I was like, she probably doesn't want to do that at all. I was like, I would love
I
to.
love I will.
Yeah.
I do love karaoke. And I'll get my
Nice.
lifer, George Armistead.
That I was saying that we got to get each other's lifers, and I want to know what your go-to karaoke song is as well, and we can find that out. But
I have
yeah,
many. Actually, I have a full list and it ranges like from No Hands by Waka Flocka to like ABBA, you know?
nice,
It's
nice.
all over the place. Molly, are you
Alvaro
gonna be at
Smurf
any
concert,
festivals?
ABBA.
Oh, that's awesome.
Really?
I That's crazy. I think we've talked about that too. I don't know is my short answer on festivals. I might be at Biggest Week for a little bit. I know I won't be in Arizona for the festival. I'm leading a tour, but I might be there in the days leading up to the festival.
Okay.
I don't have my hotels booked for next week, so that kind of tells you where I'm at on my free time planning.
I feel
I
that.
believe this
I will
story. I believe
definitely let
this.
you know.
Yeah.
I feel that.
My
I'm
tours are
gonna be
planned. My personal life is not.
I'm also gonna be at Biggest Week. Very excited. I'm judging the tattoo contest again, so I hope you end up
Oh,
making it
sweet.
so we can
Ooh,
meet. But I think Biggest Week is talking about doing
yeah.
a birder prom, which would be amazing because
Yep.
again, the homeschooler, like I didn't get to go to prom. So
That's
maybe
an
I'll get to
awesome
attend
idea.
the
I
birder
love
prom.
that
I
concept.
haven't participated in that before. But I've seen a lot of pictures from it. Biggest
Yeah,
Week is fun. Surely we'll
Nice.
cross paths somewhere.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
it's in the cards.
Well, we should probably let you get to your green-tailed towhee and your curry chicken salad, Bonner.
Mhm.
We're coming up on the time, and we don't want you to get hangry, and we want you to find that towhee. But
Look, you guys,
thanks
I
for
think
doing it.
that being on this podcast is gonna manifest me this Toey. I guess
Send
I'll
us an
have to
update.
come
Let us
back and
know.
tell you guys about it.
Yeah, we
Yes,
want to
there
hear
you
how
go.
it resolved. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I'll keep going in the loop. Well, such a joy learning from you guys today. I got to learn a lot about the oil bird. I just think you guys are so cool. My life list, I'm at like 437, so I just aspire. You guys have give me something to aspire to, and yeah, I appreciate you guys. I got really giddy when you emailed me, Molly. I was like,
Oh, good.
yes.
You answered so quickly. I was like, wow, that's the easiest guess we've ever booked. So thank you for that.
Of course.
Nice. Well, thanks,
Sweet.
guys. Thank you, Bonner. And thanks, everybody, for listening. We will be back again soon with another episode of Life List of Birding Podcast. Take care, guys. Good birding.
See ya.